Well, we're masked up.
Yes, we are.
Socially distanced. Why?
Because we have a very special guest.
Who is this guest?
Would you mind introducing yourself?
I'm glad to do so. My name is Tom Gabrielsen, and I happen to be the grandfather to some of the people that are in this room right now.
Some people call him Coach. Some people call him Mr. Gabrielsen. Some people call him Counselor. Some people call him Gabe. But we call him Paps.
Correct.
Paps,
That's right.
how we doing today?
Doing fine, thank you. I'm having a little problem with my arthritis, but I'm doing fine, thanks.
That is kind of your standard introduction these days, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it weird that you can hear us?
Is it what? I'm sorry.
Oh, never mind. It's easier to hear us when we're doing this, right?
With these headphones.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't mean to make fun of you. It's just that you've had trouble with hearing for a while.
I have some issues with hearing, yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Well, this is already the most fun we've had with you in a long time because you can hear everything we're saying. So thanks for coming on, Paps. We're happy to have you.
Glad to be here, thank you.
Good, good. What I want to do today is have a conversation where we can all hear each other. Paul can hear me, you can hear me, and I think we've checked that box. I would like to get to the bottom of why so many people seem to be fond of you. For us, you're our grandpa. You buy us ice cream. You take us golfing. You let us drive the golf carts.
That's right. That's where we learned to drive.
So we have to like you. So can you tell everybody where your career started? It seems like you've had a decent impact on some people who went to a public school here in Grand Forks. Could you talk about how you started at Red River High School?
Okay. I started at Red River High School in 1969 as the director of what was called the Vocational Core Program, and I was an assistant basketball coach to Ken Towers. That's how my career began at Red River.
And how long did you end up coaching for?
Well, I coached through the 88 season, I believe it was. Right, but I missed out on my grandsons, which is disappointing because I'd love to have coached them, but I did get to see them play, and that was fun, great fun for us.
Well, you only missed us by 20 years.
Yes.
So close.
So close.
So a lot of people know you as a coach, but I think even more know you as a counselor.
Okay.
Or somebody who roamed around the commons doing absolutely nothing for about, 8 years?
Yes.
Was it 8 years you were a commons supervisor?
I believe it was 8 years, yes.
So,
Grandpa, how many times did you get kicked in the stomach trying to break up fights when you were like
75 plus.
late 70s?
When I got kicked?
Yeah.
I think it was the late 70s.
Okay.
Yeah. Were you still in high school?
I witnessed a couple fight breakups by you.
On occasion it happened where it was necessary to intervene with a couple of kids. Yeah.
Took them to town.
Shucks.
Yeah. Sheesh Louise. So, Paps, I want to know, I don't actually know, why did you originally want to become a counselor? And did you go to school for it?
I did. I earned my counseling degree at the University of North Dakota. and earned that degree. I believe it was in '64. And, my background was such that helping people with difficulties seemed to be a thing to do, and I enjoyed that very much.
I feel like, I don't know if that's true, because from what you've told me and what I've heard from others, you were kind of a rascal, and maybe is it more so you feeling bad and trying to do good things for other people because you were such an asshole playing football and basketball?
That could well be, yes. I probably was.
Okay. Just laying that out there for discussion, but it seems like maybe it's more so a change of heart somewhere along the lines. Would that be safe to say?
I believe so, yes.
That was too easy, sorry.
That was much too easy. So, you become a counselor at Red River High. Fast forward 50 years
Okay.
to today.
Yeah.
I don't know another school counselor. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know another school counselor who is still in contact with 500 or thousands of his former students, most of which seem to be very fond of you. Everyone seems to have a story with you about how you were positively influential in their lives. And I guess I want to know what your approach was to counseling. Not only counseling, with coaching and just roaming around the halls as well. What do you think that you did maybe differently than other teachers or coaches or anyone who is in the position to make an impact on students' lives, but maybe didn't have such a profound, long-lasting impact? What do you think you did differently?
Well, I think probably I was always a reflective listener. I would hear what people had to say and then try to weigh the strengths and weaknesses of that person's perspectives.
So, reflective listener. What about warm fuzzies?
Well,
Did warm fuzzies have anything to do with your approach?
yes. Many years ago, I spent some time in elementary schools, more specifically Kelly Elementary School, where I was assigned to go half days for part of a semester. And at that time, there was a family who were being abused by the kids, being teased by kids. They had some cleanliness issues and so forth. And young kids were very difficult for other students, particularly those who had issues. And I started gathering with groups of, at that time, 6th graders and talking about doing nice things, to giving warm fuzzies, verbal warm fuzzies to these youngsters. Kids picked up on that and they liked the warm fuzzies. And that group of 6th graders, as seniors, were having a class meeting prior to graduation, and one of the boys raised his hand and said, "Gabe, would it be possible for us to make little warm fuzzies and wear on our graduation gowns, which they all did. And I don't remember how many there were in that particular class, but that was fairly emotional too, that they thought enough of warm fuzzies and the philosophy that they would demonstrate to all of their classmates what warm fuzzies were about. Yep.
That's amazing.
Love it.
I think the world could use a couple warm fuzzies in these days.
That would be true. Yes, definitely.
I was talking to Paul and Bitsy Boo earlier today, and we were talking about success and definitions of success. I would be curious to know what yours is, but I just want to say, when I think of success, I think of you, because I think success should be defined by the impact that you have on people's lives. And I guess I can't think of anyone who's done that more than you have.
It's really kind, John. Thank you.
I'm getting emotional on my own podcast. Well, that's embarrassing.
Grandpa, who do you think your biggest role model was?
Probably my high school basketball coach.
Really? I don't know if I've ever heard that from you.
His name was Jerome Berg from Mayville, North Dakota. The football stadium at Mayville is named after Jerome Berg. But Jerome Berg was right at the top of the heap as far as I was concerned.
Why?
Because he was such an honest, caring, trustworthy person. Yep. Made everybody feel important. Mm-hmm.
I think that might have passed down to you a little bit. So thank you to Jerome.
What's the most iconic story that embodies Jerome Berg, and how can that apply to your philosophy?
Basketball practice one night, one of the people that was guarding me was hanging all over me. And I turned around and kicked him, literally right in the rear end. And Jerome Berg kicked me off the basketball team, which was my most important thing in life at that time. Not allowed to play for, I believe it was a week, maybe a couple of games. Very painful lesson, but one I never forgot. Yeah. My folks weren't very impressed. We had a little meeting, together, and he emphasized what he expected out of his players, and he didn't want me sitting on the bench not playing because I was important to the team, and he pointed that out. And so another good lesson.
Well, I agree with John. I think that anywhere that we go, it's always a major possibility that 75% of the room knows who you are, and that's how they know us. Growing up, it was always kind of like we sort of had to be on our best behavior because we never knew who was watching us at Hugo's or a sports game or whatever, because so many people, as John said, are fond of you. And I think that is certainly probably the best metric of success. Yeah, everything John said I think is absolutely 100% correct.
So thank you. Thank you from a lot of people, I think.
Thank you,
I think I
John.
can see this. I can say that. Thanks for doing this with us. We don't want to keep you too long.
It's my pleasure to be with you.
We got to get you back to Magsfro.
You happen to be my favorite people in the world. Thank you.
More warm fuzzies in the world, people.
Warm fuzzies all around.
All around.